Hello, welcome to Silly Linguistics. This is Michael here. You've clicked the video, so you know what we're talking about today. I've got my hot chocolate, and let's begin. It's a difficult subject to talk about with a lot of people. As a language learner, you don't necessarily want. Hold on, my cabinets are open. Sorry about that. As a language learner, you know that that you have some challenges involved with anxiety. You know that there is stuff that hot chocolate, my bad. That there is some stuff that you're gonna go through whenever you are learning a language, and it's gonna suck. Now there's grammar, vocabulary, the ability to think in a target language. All of that can definitely be considered as difficulties when learning a language. It doesn't particularly matter if you can't actually use the language because you have anxiety, or you have difficulty using the language because you can't quite what am I saying here? You can't quite put it through that you are doing something, that you want to do something, but you have something deep inside of you that's preventing you from doing something. Now, I know that doesn't quite make any sense, but I hope that by the time we are finished with this live stream, if anybody comes in, then there will be plenty of understanding, and maybe I can understand the topic even more, despite the fact that I am currently living with anxiety, and that anxiety stops me from doing everyday language learning tasks. Now, for a little background to myself, I am a 24-year-old writer in the United States. I work a full-time retail job. I work in a pharmacy. I'm a manager in a pharmacy, a shift lead. I have direct control over cashiers and monetary things. This is not my first managerial job, of course. Sorry, a fly. I have several flies in here for some reason. Thought I got rid of the flies. Whatever. The manager position is very difficult. Some days, and then other days it's not so difficult. I have to deal and talk with a lot of people, dozens of people sometimes, every single day, and that's cool. You know, I really enjoy dealing with people. However, whenever I start experiencing just a little bit of difficulty with these people, for whatever reason, it starts to hurt. It's painful, mentally painful to deal with people and then have difficulties dealing with the people as we go along. I think there's a specific psychological term for it, and if you know it, drop it in the comments below. But it's anguish at the earliest stage. It's basically anguish. The number of people that I talk with on a daily basis probably ranges in the hundreds. I have to greet individual customers. I have to wait on customers. And several of those customers, if they are specifically pharmacy related, for instance, I have to deal with and try to alleviate their own anxieties about medicines, insurance, and whatnot. And that's sucks because not only do I have to try to stay calm as I'm experiencing those difficulties and anguish, I have to help somebody else through their difficulty and anguish while they are most likely angry at me for doing the very thing. And it sucks. What can you do? You can't really do anything with it, you know? I'm about to share this to Instagram. Alright, back again. The number of people who are there on a daily basis is absolutely insane. It's mind-boggling. I don't particularly like it all the time, but it's a paycheck. And if I don't perform the job, I don't get the check. And that's okay. You know, I've chosen the job, I'm making the money, and that's what I'm doing with my life. Besides, of course, this YouTube channel and whatnot. I have less anxiety about this YouTube channel because I really enjoy doing this. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to make videos on my life and talk with people about the things that we are experiencing every day. This live stream may not get any viewers at all, but if I can have one person watch it and perhaps feel better about themselves and their anxiety, after the fact, great. That means that I've made some sort of positive impact on the world. I've done something good with this experience and these experiences that I deal with on a daily basis. My girlfriend might be joining this live stream at some point if she wants to, but that's up to her, really. And that's cool too. She also has anxiety, which if she'll come in here, she'll talk about that today. Now, specifically dealing with language learning, I have a lot of difficulty with, of course, the grammar, vocabulary, and etc. that I mentioned earlier, and that places a burden upon my anxiety already. I also want to be a perfectionist. I want to make sure that I know everything that I can know for learning a language. Hello to our first viewer today. I want to know everything that there is to a language, and if I can't figure out everything at once, my brain kind of snaps, and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm going to stop learning for a little bit. And sometimes that little bit can become a lot of bit. I can become crippled with anxiety. It's not the best term for it because I can still do stuff with the language, but it's like something snaps in my head and I don't have the full cognizant ability to continue in that language and learning more in that language. I would much prefer to master a language or at least be conversational enough before I actually start dealing with the language in face-to-face interactions. But I also know if I don't practice the language face-to-face, I'm not as likely to know or understand the language because I'm not incorporating it into my life. Duolingo lessons are great, memorized lessons are great, but if you don't actively use it, it's just gonna float away like tears in the rain. It's just not anxiety is just not viable extremely viable in language learning. But I hope by the end of this live stream, we've come up with solutions for anxiety, and we know what to do whenever we're faced with anxiety in learning a language. I have had anxiety for a very long time. I have had anxiety for since I was at least a kid. I've always been a very hyperactive kid. I've always loved talking with people, and I've always loved dealing with people uh, whenever everybody's happy. The mood of the room is normally my mood. Um, Spoiler alert, I've done a lot of drugs in my life, and I'm going to talk a bit about my drug experiences in terms of what I was experiencing whenever I was a serious acid head. Whenever I would do LSD quite a bit, um, my mood would reflect also what I was experiencing in the room times 10. This one time, all of us were doing LSD, and one of us was depressed, and she got mad at me, and it just kind of killed the mood. It it killed the mood in the room. I went into the hallway and started bawling my eyes out. I didn't mean to start bawling my eyes out. I was feeling very anxious about it, and I did not want to be bawling my eyes out. But I was convinced in my head that she was mad at me. And because she was mad at me, everybody else in the room was going to be mad at me as well. And then it got to me thinking about how I was an orphan at this point in my life, and it just kept getting worse. It just kept getting worse. I was convinced that nobody loved me, that nobody was ever going to love me, and that I was better off just not being there at all, existing. I didn't want to die, but I just didn't want to exist and be a burden on the people who clearly didn't love me anyway. And I've had some really good experiences with LSD as well. Some really good experiences with LSD. But this experience was probably my worst in terms of overall anxiety. I I was shut down. I was shut down for the entire time. There It was not a happy occasion, and it was my second time doing it too. Um, I didn't learn from I clearly didn't learn from it because I did LSD on 8 other separate occasions afterwards, within the next 8 or 9 months, and then another couple times the next year. The anxiety at that time was real. Despite it being heightened by the drugs, it was still real. Now, not all anxiety experiences are going to be the same. The Hello to our second viewer. Uh, and apologies to everybody watching this as I deal with the intense emotions that I've been struggling with for a while. The anxiety experiences day to day can be completely different from each other. One time I was in the office at work after getting chewed out by a customer in the pharmacy for an experience that I couldn't fix for them necessarily. And I just was bawling my eyes out in the office. There was nothing that I could do for the customer. The customer was mad at their circumstance, but took it out on me, and it triggered a pretty major anxiety attack. I don't know why it triggered the anxiety attack. I've dealt with similar situations all the time, but sometimes whenever I deal with the situation, it's just not the same. This time I'm crying in the office. This other time I'm able to perfectly deal with the anxiety and not cry in the office. And then this time I am dealing with the anxiety. I'm on the verge of a breakdown, but I'm just barely able to hold it together. All 3 times are anxiety related, but they're not the same. I hope this is making some sense. Nobody's really commenting or doing anything on the chat, so I don't know if this is making any sense or if people are uncomfortable or what. But the anxiety that we deal with on a day-to-day basis is completely different from each time that you may experience from each time that you may experience it the first time or the 5th time, the 20th time. It doesn't matter. Each experience can be completely different from each other, and there's no way to guarantee that your anxiety attack is not going to happen one day or it is going to happen one day. There's no way to tell. And that also adds on to the anxiety, because you have no idea if your life is about to get worse that day, if it's gonna stay about the same. There's just not any effective way of predicting when an anxiety attack is going to be horrible or if it's not going to be horrible. And it's scientifically proven that every anxiety attack it's not predictable for a human to do. Dogs actually have dogs and cats have a really good way of telling if a human is about to go into an anxiety attack, which is why they're really good service animals. If you have a dog, they can predict if you're about to go into an attack or not. I think my girlfriend is about to join us for the live stream, so we're gonna make a little room. Do you want to kneel over here, I guess, or something, or do you want to sit in the chair? Here, you can sit in the chair and I'll kneel.
Who else is watching?
I don't know. Just a couple random people. I don't know. They're just watching. So they haven't been scared away yet by me. So that's cool. Very cool. All right. So this is my girlfriend Charmaine. Hello. She also.
I moved over here for you. I'm like, all up on the screen.
It's all cool. All good. You like the way it's set up now?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you introduce yourself?
You just introduced me.
Okay, I've introduced her. That's good enough. Could you tell us a little bit about your anxiety experiences?
Michael, there's no such thing as anxiety experiences.
Okay.
It's just anxiety. It's there all the time.
Okay. It's just kind of there all the time. I mean, that's pretty true, though. It really is. No, it went away. There was. Oh, okay. Oh, Tessa's here. Hey, Tessa. Yeah. It, like Charmaine said, it never really goes away. I'm glad that you understand what we're trying to say. Yeah, exactly. It's she just keeps showing up on the live stream somehow. It's perfectly fine.
Why is your brightness down so much?
I don't know why my screen is like that, honestly. Maybe it's the lighting. Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can actually see it now.
Yeah, but I was hoping that the battery wouldn't drain this entire time.
There's a plug-in right there. You can charge your phone.
Well, yeah, but then I'd have dead time unless you wanted to talk the whole time. Here, she's gonna talk while I go grab my battery.
I don't talk, Michael. I don't say words.
You just said words then. It sounded like you were saying.
That took all of 5 seconds, Michael.
I know, and it was all dead time too. I have a lot of anxiety whenever I know that somebody doesn't speak very good English, and I'm able to help them because I speak language, and it's.
The bread's in the way.
Yeah, the bread.
Here, use the bread to prop it up.
Damn you, bread.
That box is causing a shadow.
Oh, okay, that's cool. We've rotated the screen.
There we go.
I hope this is different for you. We've rotated the screen.
They're all flipping their phones.
They're like, whoa, wait a second, Mike, you can't do this. Whenever I have somebody who doesn't speak, they speak Spanish, I speak Spanish, I get really nervous about that. Because I'm afraid that I don't, yeah, we're both good.
You're competing with Arendelle right now.
Who?
He's also live on YouTube right now.
I don't know who that is.
He lives with Sam McCullough.
Oh, okay.
No, he's got 95% of the people watching it.
Well, that's okay. I've got the 99% of people who who care, who are care about anxiety rather than whatever
you
they're
can do
talking
that,
about.
right? Where it stays there.
Whenever a customer walks up and I'm trying to translate, I have to try to translate on the spot. I have to think about what they're saying, and oftentimes my language learning ability isn't good enough to translate everything that they're saying as they're saying it, or I don't have enough vocabulary, or my grammar isn't good enough to articulate the thoughts that I need to express to which is why I hate translating for the pharmacy whenever they ask me to, because I don't know a lot of those pharmaceutical words. This is hot chocolate.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially because a person who speaks Spanish, French, German, etc., they're using terms in their dialect that do not translate well into English, or they're just so specific to their dialect, they don't. You can't translate it directly.
Yeah, and some words that are in Spanish and other languages don't have words in English.
Yeah, for sure.
Or they don't translate right, like in any sense of the word.
Yeah.
Unless you ask them directly and they know how to speak English and Spanish.
Yeah.
Because, you'll notice it a lot when you're watching movies, which obviously movies aren't real 95% of the time, but they'll be talking and they'll be like, I don't know what the word for it is, and then they'll say the Spanish word for it.
Yeah.
And then later on you'll realize that it was like washer or something, but they don't call it a washer in Mexico or wherever they're from.
Hello, JP11MS. Oh, wow, we have 5 viewers now. We doubled.
It's me.
It's, yeah. As soon as she gets on there, everything just expands. Having a pretty good.
My problem with anxiety and foreign languages is my anxiety makes it to where if I'm like at Walmart and there's somebody around me talking in another language, my anxiety tells me that they're talking about me. Like 100%, doesn't matter if there's 100 other people around.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. And that sucks about anxiety. So you want to learn another language, but then you go try to learn another language and your anxiety tells you that you're not going to do it. So
Yeah,
So
that's
you don't even try.
that basically sums up 95% of
She gets
polyglots
it.
on the internet. Yeah. the I have been in a situation where I understand everything that the person is talking about, and they're talking about me. And it's awkward because I know what they're saying, and I don't really want to address what they're saying. So
what you just tell them, hey, I understand you. I know what you're saying.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna be like, I don't.
Which that's another thing from anxiety. You avoid confrontation.
Yeah. I don't want to directly confront them about this. I don't want to confront them.
But you
about
also
that.
kind of want them to know that you know what they're saying.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be the one to tell them.
So
it's like pull your friend over. Hey, tell them that I know what they're saying.
Yeah, it seems worth knowing. A language is very worth knowing. Like you want to know if somebody is talking about you.
Yeah. See, a thing that my anxiety does is I like to write fan fictions or books in general or stories, and it seems worth doing because I know that that's what I like to do. But I'll start the story and then my brain will tell me this story's not going to be good. Nobody's going to read it. It's going to fall through. It's going to be shit, basically. So I don't ever finish them. Because I'm like, yep, probably gonna be crap. No, better not finish it. Just leave it there.
I am the exact same way, though. Honest to God, I have a short story that I wrote. Oh, sorry. I wrote for a online publication that for a short story collection. They were excited about it. They were like, "Okay, now you just need to finish editing it." And it was the week of Thanksgiving, and I had a dozen other things to do, and I simply couldn't finish editing, so I missed being in the collection, and now my short story is just there, unedited, waiting for me to finally have the strength to one day go back to it and finish editing it, but I know that that's probably not going to happen.
You have my one short story on your phone.
Oh, I do?
Or on your computer.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty good short story.
Oh, really? Because you said that it sucked and that it needed more.
I just said it was too short.
It's a short story. It's supposed to be short.
Well,
I used it as the prologue in the book that I was going to work on, and it's just sitting there now.
Yeah. Most works in progress end up just kind of sitting there, really. And
95% of my stories are fan fictions because I have trouble with character development. Whereas if I take a character that somebody else has created or an actual person, then their character's already done.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to develop anything more on the character. Like, I can develop, like, say, like, a main character. Like, I'll make up a main character. Mm-hmm. But she's always based on somebody that I know.
Yeah.
Like, one of my characters in my books will be based on me. One of them will be based on my sister. One of them, like, I don't know, a friend or something. Or just somebody on Facebook. That's another thing. I never use my own pictures as the character that's based on me. I will always use, like, a Facebook friend's pictures. Obviously, I ask them first, because that's rude if you don't.
Yeah,
but, like, I'll use their pictures, or I'll go get a random picture off of YouTube, off of Google, or I'll use, like, a actress's picture or something. Just because, somebody left. They did not like my monologue.
No, they didn't like your monologue. But Tessa brought up a really good point about a finalization in the works. You want to have it so perfect that if you can't make it perfect, you don't get the ending for it. You can't make an ending. That's why half of my videos that I make for the channel end up just not going onto the channel. Yesterday I made like 3 different videos and I just could not get it to where I wanted it to be, so I just kind of scrapped all the projects and then did something completely different. Something I had never done before, a react video. And screw YouTube, by the way, for putting a copyright claim on it free frickin' use Article 17 in the United States, man. I tell you, these big corporations.
YouTube is like its own country. It's got its own laws.
Yeah, like YouTube just kind of makes up the rules as they go along, and
I'll be right back.
and everybody else is like, oh well, I guess we'll just have to deal with what we have. I know you're coming right back, but I wanted to sit down for a second because I'm lazy. I can't tell you how many videos that I have put up that I have made, and I just will not put them up. I end up just deleting them. Like, then I take another look at them, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna work on that. It sucks. Yeah, like, especially for somebody like me who's not linguistically trained, and I am no expert on the subject. I really feel anxious trying to explain the subject. A lot of people try to rip me to shreds on the Facebook page about the fact that I'm not like a linguistics major, and I make memes about linguistics, but I'm just like, well, I'm not linguistically trained. I came in here in order to learn languages because I really love languages. This is what I am passionate about, and I'm kind of learning as I go. And it brings me anxiety to even look at comments some days because I'm like, oh, I'm sure somebody's gonna insult me for something, and I'm just like, I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to delete the comment because that's actual engagement on the on the page, and I don't feel right deleting comments or banning people unless like they're just straight up saying offensive things.
That's how I feel about my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that's why I haven't uploaded in a while.
Oh, she has a YouTube channel, by the way. We'll link it in the. Go subscribe.
I sing, by the way. Nothing about language.
Oh yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I do feel like I'm an imposter, and in trying to explain about etymology, words, languages, and stuff, because I didn't study these in school. Other people have studied these in school. They clearly know more than I do, and I worry about that. I'm just one day somebody's gonna call me out and be like, yo, you don't know any freaking German. Why are you talking about it? Imposter syndrome. Yeah. I literally just found out about that term today in one of my writing groups because somebody was like, yo, I call out people who are imposters in the writing industry. And I'm just like, I don't know why you would call people out for that.
Yeah, see, I don't feel like I feel like what part of my problem is why people think I'm such a bitch is because I don't think an imposter is an actual thing unless you're actually pretending to be somebody. Like, you can't be an imposter as a writer, and because if you're actually writing something, then you are a writer. Exactly. How could you be an imposter in writing?
But
as long as you're writing your own stuff, then you can't be an imposter.
Yeah.
Just the same as in like linguistics or pretty much anything, you can't be an imposter in it if you're actually trying at it.
It makes absolutely no sense to see something like that in a writing group. There's so much prescriptivism devoted strictly to writing. Like, you can't just like come up to somebody who's been writing for a few months and be like, yo, you're not a writer. You just started writing a few months ago. Like, you're nothing like us. It doesn't make any sense to do that.
Yeah.
And it like comments was just like pissing me off because everybody was like, yeah, like fucking imposters. They like, what do they know about writing? And I'm like, whew, this is becoming a barn fire. I don't even know how to deal with this. You could
be on your first day of trying to write a story or a poem or anything, and there's no way that you're an imposter unless you're writing somebody else's work word for word.
if everything you've ever done is plagiarism, you're an imposter. But if you've done original work, you're not an imposter.
Yeah.
There's just, if you're creating any original content, you're not an imposter.
Yeah, that's why if I like take like song lyrics or a quote from a movie or any kind of something from somebody else, I'll try to put it in quotations. Mm-hmm. Whereas I won't necessarily say, you know, like what the song is or who wrote that poem, but I try to put those in quotations so that people know it's somebody else's work. Yeah. So that they don't think I'm trying to pass it off as my own.
Yeah, exactly.
But not everybody picks up on those.
Yeah.
So they just think like that's a form of dialogue, and they're like, oh, well, that's not your song or whatever because that's such and such a song called this. I'm like, yeah, no, that's why it's in quotation marks.
Facebook is really tricky. The words to "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend," everybody knows that song. And I posted the lyrics one day, and then the one guy who doesn't know that song commented and was like, "Oh, did you write this yourself? That's really cool." And I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I did not.
See, what I get is one time I posted, they were kind of like song lyrics, but they were kind of a poem too. I wrote it as a poem, but they interpreted it as song lyrics, which I don't care what you interpret it as. Poems, most people say that songs are just poems put to music, which they pretty much are. Yeah. Well, not nowadays, but nowadays it's just the word ass and titties and stuff. Anyway. And she was like, what song is this from? And I was like, it's not from a song. I wrote it. And then she goes on to be like, no, you're a liar. I'm going to look it up. And I'm the blah, blah, blah. And like 2 days later, she comes back and she's like, okay, so I couldn't find any song that has those words in it. I was like, yeah, because I wrote them.
Because I made it myself.
Because I wrote them and I haven't put out a song for it yet. She goes and searches up. It's my song. I'm like a world-class recording artist.
Taylor Swift posting her own lyrics and be like, yo.
I wonder if that's how like artists started out, like singer-songwriters.
A lot of them do start out with posting covers on YouTube nowadays.
No, what I mean is like randomly posting like random quotes that you just think of on like Facebook or whatever.
Yeah. You in order to, and this goes with language learning. Yeah. Who determines the value of it? It's like language learning. If you see something and you study it, you're going to get something out of it. So somebody who makes a cover of an artwork on...
You might not even study it. Like, I wasn't studying sign language, and I watched Switched at Birth. There was just a lot of sign language in the movie, and I picked up on some.
Yeah, it's called input. The more that you receive, the more that you get out of it.
Yeah.
So, like, you picked up some sign language by watching this show, even if you didn't mean to. You were indirectly inputting.
I mean, after a couple seasons, I started like, I think I'm gonna learn sign language because this is cool.
Right? It's one of the coolest.
I'm gonna watch these signs. I'm gonna learn some stuff.
I'm gonna start using my sign language.
I'm gonna learn how to say some stuff. This means me too.
Me too.
Yeah, you got to go from you though.
Oh.
Because this means us.
Oh, us.
Or together.
Me too.
Us together is this, but if you go this way, then it's me too.
Good stuff. I like
that. Or
that
you
one.
too, if you're asking a question.
So it would be like
you two or
you two.
Yeah, it's either you two or me too, but it means either.
Impromptu
sign
language studies. Every single time we're on the live stream, it ends up happening.
Every single time I come in.
We're always learning something new. But the same way
also means rock on.
Rock on, brah.
Gnarly, bro. It's also surfer language.
It also applies to doing it. Like, the more that Charmaine does the sign language signs, the more that, like, it sticks to her mind. And the more that she covers music on her channel, the better that she becomes. Just like the more that I practice with those native speakers when my anxiety can handle it, the more I'm going to have, and the less anxious I'm going to be the next time.
My fingers are turning blue.
Her fingers are turning blue.
Because of my hair.
Because of her hair. I was like, that That's not healthy. We should probably see a doctor about that after the live stream, of course.
Take them with us to the doctor.
All right, guys, we're gonna live stream this entire hospital visit. That's shitty. But if Jablinski Gaming can make an entire video about taking his son to the dentist and putting braces on, I can, by golly, live stream my girlfriend's entire hospital visit, because I am just that selfish.
One time I went to the dentist and he told me that I needed braces, and then we went to the orthodontist that he told me to go to, and he told me that I would never need braces in my life. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Am I supposed to have braces or not?
That is the...
I was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused.
Speaking of medical stuff brings me anxiety too.
I had a joke about earlier, but I didn't want to bring it up because we were talking about serious stuff.
Oh.
What do you call a fake noodle?
What?
An impasta.
Impasta syndrome. Medical stuff brings me a lot of anxiety. I still haven't signed up for health insurance because I don't want to. Yes, exactly.
Puns are where all the jokes are at. If your joke isn't a pun, it's probably not funny.
Probably not. No. Mm-mm. I post puns all the time on the Facebook page, and a couple people on Facebook were like, "Oh, he's just posting puns."
Or should I say, if your joke isn't a pun, it probably isn't punny.
It isn't punny. They called me a boomer punner, meaning that I'm just an old person who posts puns, and I'm just like, this is what I find funny.
Well, I mean,
some people find funny.
My dad said that you're old.
I'm 24. I'm as old as hell.
My dad's 46, and he's calling you old.
If all I listen to is Bob Dylan and David Bowie, yeah, I'm probably old.
I listen to a lot of, like, early 90s music.
I don't understand that emoji.
It's a sad face.
Oh, it's a sad face.
Yeah, it was a sad face with it. What do you call it? Slash.
One day in a video,
Oh.
It's IME. What's IME, Tessa?
I feel like it's like an expo.
Okay. Were they any good? Sounds like an interesting name for a band.
I feel like I've heard that before.
It sounds really familiar. I really like folkish music.
Like, not like the name of the band, but the IME. It sounds really familiar.
I feel like that's an abbreviation that a lot of people... Like there's a lot of different terms for it. Like, I can't think of any others, but I'm sure that they're there. Older 90s, 2000s. Then we've probably heard one of their songs, because we listened to a lot of 2000s playlists. Don't play the song.
I'm not going to play it.
Okay, I was about to say, I do not want another copyright strike against me, because I don't know why I got a copyright strike, but I did. And this video will just end up getting copy strike.
Well, I mean, I'm going to play it, but I'm going to play it, like, quietly.
Oh, okay. Just listen to it yourself. I understand. I'll talk more about anxiety while we're at it. What I will have, we've already talked about people just randomly walking up. But there's also moments where you understand quite a bit of the language, and you can speak quite a bit of the language. You don't understand the other person. And you're walking up, they don't speak as much English, they need translating. Got it. Got the fly. It took an entire video.
It was a gnat.
It was a gnat. I got the gnat. And I walk up, I'm trying in their mother language, I don't know enough, and they get a little bit mad at me. Time for a phrase.
Is that the song that I should listen to?
Oh, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, she's recommending songs as we talk. Good shit. I love it. I walk up, and my language is just not good enough to get them to what they need in the store. That's why I will not practice any Mandarin, despite studying it for 3 months with a native speaker, because I don't feel comfortable enough to force myself on that person to try to practice the language, to try to help them in any way in their native tongue. I feel a bit of anxiety for that, and I just won't. I try to stick to Spanish, French, and German more as a joke, really, because like I get some German speakers in there, and I'll just like say funny things to them because I know that their German is better, and they already learned English because all German schools will teach you English anyway, unlike in Spanish-speaking countries in which Spanish is the only classes in some places to do that. Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing. Your anxiety can prevent you from reaching across your comfort zone. And you don't mean to get away from the comfort zone. You're trying to break out of that little barrier that is circling you, like a little bubble. I wish I had some animation to put this with, but I don't because this is a live stream and I can't draw. But you're trying to leave the comfort zone, but your anxiety is like a barrier preventing you from leaving the comfort zone. Sometimes you'll be able to slinker on through some stuff, but because you're not getting everything that you need out of a conversation, because you're stuck in the comfort zone, you're not going to increase what you have so much. You're going to have a lot less than you were hoping to get out of the conversation. The conversation has less value to you as a person, and because you have less value out of this conversation, you are far less likely to do another conversation with somebody else again, which sucks because it's cyclical. The more anxiety that you have, the less likely you're going to do something. And because less likely you're going to do something, the even less likely that you're going to do the thing that would improve the something.
Mm-hmm.
Big anxiety thing. Yeah, 100% agree. It's shitty. Like people all around the world have this disease that yeah. And people all around the world have this diagnosable disease, and they are unable to do day-to-day tasks.
Not
they
politically
find
correct to call it a disease. It's a disorder.
Disease. You know, I don't really deal with correctness very well because I just kind of say things, unfortunately, which gets me in trouble sometimes.
Like, it's also not politically correct to say retarded.
Yeah. We shit post around here. People were getting mad at me about my last meme on Facebook because they were like, "Oh, this is a meme about the Gillette ad. You're circumventing social justice." Yeah, things slip out. I didn't. I just saw that what I saw was really relatable. I replaced the guy, and you can go to the Facebook page and look at it. But it's me, and then a girl's walking past. I try to go to the girl, and then social anxiety stops me. But the girl is native speakers, and me trying to practice the language. And I thought that was really relatable because to my audience, and it was really popular. But there was always going to be one or two people who are going to be like, "Yo, you circumvented what that is actually." Yeah, it's way too relatable. Social anxiety stops you from the native speakers. You don't get as much out of it, and it next time you're even less likely to keep learning it. It's just too much. It's just way too much for one person to think about.
That's why I still don't have a medical card or footsteps or a job.
Yeah, it'll happen though. Everything will get better with time. And hopefully with this hashtag YouTube money, I'll be able to do even more.
I just squished your head. You didn't even care.
I didn't care. Well, hashtag YouTube money will come later whenever I get the subscribers. My name is Michael, and this is Charmaine. I guess I didn't really introduce myself, but
it's Italian.
she's an Italian American, and I am a failed writer who picked up this YouTube channel.
But I'm also Indian, or Native American. Sorry.
She's also Native American, but I mean, so am I. I have Native American too,
and German.
And German. So we're basically two white people in America, and yeah, that's it.
I don't think I'm actually Italian. I just think my name's Italian.
Probably. And I'm probably not from Scotland.
My middle name is Country Music. That's an ethnicity, right?
Her middle name is Wynette, which is from the popular musician.
She wasn't that popular. But her name's Tammy Wynette.
Oh,
she wasn't that popular. She has like 4 good songs. Like she has a song called Divorce and a song called I Don't Want to Play House.
My middle name is Shane.
That's my uncle's name.
I have no idea. I'm just named Shane.
I have 2 uncles. Their names are Shane and Jeremy. But my grandma used to always call them Jeremy and Jane.
I think my mom was probably just stoned whenever she came up with my middle name.
Well, I mean, 95% of my nephews' middle names are Michael, so.
That sucks.
Like there's Zane Michael, Blaine Michael.
Hashtag Michaels are taking over the world, man.
My brother's
we're all
middle name is Michael.
One day, we're all gonna be Michael.
My brother's father's middle name is Michael. It's a movement.
It's a movement, man. It's
just like the middle name Dawn. I used to call all my friends. I used to be like Taylor Dawn or Shelby Dawn. And that was Taylor and Shelby's middle name, and that was it. But I'd call Caitlin, I'd call her Caitlin Dawn. I'd call Imani Dawn.
Hashtag Michael. That's right, guys. We're starting a movement. Hashtag Michael.
Nobody ever wants their kid to be named Charmaine. Although I don't care because I wouldn't want them to go through life with people asking them why they have a black girl's name. Because that's what I went through.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, but now I love it, so it's all good.
Yeah, at least now you love the name.
I embrace it.
I've embraced what I have become.
Like, I used to have all kinds of nicknames. Like, I went by Tiffany for, like, 2 years just because. And then there was Shar, there was Star, there was just Shar, my parents called me Mayne for a while. And now my nickname's Mayne Go because my mom told me to go clean my room one day. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And she was like, Mayne, go. And then she was like, I said, Mayne, go.
Speaking of your parents, do you think that anxiety is genetic as well?
Yeah, my mom 110% has anxiety. I don't think my dad does. My dad's he's way too extroverted to have any form of anxiety.
Here, get you a little bit back into the camera.
Which, I mean, I understand that you could still be an extrovert and have anxiety, but he's just way too much of a people person to have any form. Like, he definitely has bipolar, which he likes to deny, but he definitely does not have anxiety. There's no way. I mean, he's never been diagnosed with bipolar, but then again, I've never been diagnosed with anxiety or bipolar or depression or anything besides borderline personality disorder, but it's there. Like, my mom's been diagnosed with them. She knows what it is, so.
If you can recognize the symptoms pretty obviously, then it's pretty obvious that you have it.
Yeah, just like I've never been diagnosed with mania, but it's there. I have it.
Yeah.
But see, mania is a difficult thing. I know we're getting off topic because we're supposed to be talking about anxiety, but
we stay off topic sometimes.
Mania is a difficult subject or a difficult thing to what do you call it? Determine if they have it.
Oh yeah.
It's a way too difficult thing to diagnose because it could be mania is still a... Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And if you're not diagnosed, people act like it's not real. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you've never been diagnosed, so how do you know you have it? And it's just one of those things that you just know.
It's like, brah, I know that I got it because I can tell that I have it.
And like borderline personality disorder, I didn't even know that was a thing until I got diagnosed with it.
Yeah.
So I made it my mission to go online and find out about all kinds of other mental disorders. That mostly, I started just looking at mental disorders that are generally found in a person that has borderline personality. Because when I got diagnosed, she said that nobody under the age of 18 had ever been diagnosed with it. And I was 16 at the time. And she said it to me like I won a prize or something. She's like, you're the first person that's ever been you're probably the first person who's ever been diagnosed with this under the age of 18. I was like, oh, great. Where's my freaking trophy? I gotta live my life with this problem now, knowing
Please
that
clap.
I have it.
mania. Please clap. I have BPS.
And I was like looking at him, and then I was talking to this dude a while back, and he started. You're too young.
Yeah, it's shitty.
And then the reason why it didn't work out with me and him is he was trying to therapize me. He was acting more like my therapist than a friend/boyfriend. Like, he was like, well, I feel like you probably have mania because of this, or because you said this and this and this. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll hang out with you and whatever tomorrow and see how it goes in person. But I don't think this is going to work out because I don't need a therapist. Or I probably do need a therapist, but I don't want a therapist.
I don't need somebody.
I was looking for a boyfriend, but okay.
I don't need somebody pretending to be a therapist to try to fix me.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like Christians who date non-Christians in order to try to convert them to Christianity. Yes. And it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what happened with my brother and his first wife. She was like super hardcore Christian, and he wanted to smoke weed. Mm-hmm. And apparently, even though God, I don't actually believe in God, but if God put it on the planet, because it's a plant.
Yeah.
He put all plants on this planet. So if he put it on the planet and it can be smoked like tobacco, then why is it like against Christianity to smoke weed? And that's why they ended up getting a divorce, because he wouldn't stop smoking, and she was like, well, God doesn't like that, and blah, 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 and which I don't get how Christians can call themselves Christians when they judge people for all this. Like, not all of them, obviously, but they'll like...
We are getting a little off topic, so bear with us.
Some of them will judge, like, gay people or people with, like, depression and all that. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in the Bible it says, thou shalt not judge.
This area is so bad about Christians judging other people.
Yeah.
Like, where we're from in the United States, Kentucky, like, people will judge you if you're gay, if you're depressed, if you aren't bottled up in your feelings.
If you have tattoos,
if you have tattoos, they'll still like not hire you here
hair.
If you have a tattoo on your arm.
Yeah, as long as if it can't be covered up. If it can be covered up and you can hide who you are and you don't want to express yourself in any way, shape, or form, you can have a job.
And then there's places like New York where you can be completely tatted up and then go into your nice cushy job as a ER doctor,
CEO even.
Yeah, and I think it's a little ridiculous that this part of the country is just so backwards when it comes to mental illness stigmatization.
It's because they're behind on the times.
Yeah.
This place is so behind. They're still living in like early 90s and shit. Like, not technology form, obviously, because pretty much all of the world evolves almost evenly with technology and all that, because it comes out everywhere at one time. But, yeah, when you have to explain why you have tattoos, because they'll be like, okay, well, I see that tattoo, but why do you have it? And I'm like, especially the cross that I have on the side of my hand here. They're like, because I was talking to one of my friends one day, And I was telling her how, I'm not necessarily Christian. I don't necessarily believe in God. And she was like, well, why do you have a cross tattooed on your hand? I was like, because I've always wanted a cross tattooed on the side of my hand since I was little.
Yeah.
I used to draw it there like every day before I went to school. And it's just. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what it is. Like, my sister's like, why are you getting this tattoo? And why are you getting this tattoo? And it's like, because I like it. And she goes, well, you shouldn't get a tattoo just because you like it. It's like, that's the only reason you should get a tattoo is if you like it. If you're just getting a tattoo just because it has good meaning to you, but you don't like the design or whatever, you're going to hate it later on, even if it has a good meaning to it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a Doctor Who quote on my back, and it's ugly as hell because I was the one who wrote it out, and then they just kind of stapled it. Not stapled, they drew it. They stapled it on there. They stapled it right onto my back. But it's there, and it's permanent, and I love it, even though it's ugly. Like, yeah. I was the one who made it. It has some sort of meaning to me. It doesn't have a lot of meaning to me, but...
Like, I have a piece of crap clip art type unicorn on my knee because I couldn't find any other cute small unicorn designs that I wanted.
Yeah.
And it was cute to me, so I was like, let's do this one. I mean, I got a shitty fucking tattoo on the side of my foot that's fading every single day, fading a little bit more and more. And, I mean, that sucks. I mean, I've always wanted a tattoo there, but I didn't realize that if I had a tattoo there, it'd fade.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go somewhere and get it somewhere else or something. Or, like, up a little bit more on my foot or something.
And if people see it, they're like, oh, but didn't you know that it was going to fade? I'm like, no, sometimes we just do things because we want to do them in the moment.
This one, you can hardly even see it on there. It's fading bad. And, I mean, it's still there, though, because that's where I wanted it.
It's going to be a permanent part of the experience.
Yeah, like this tattoo right here, I didn't want it to cover my whole arm, but I mean, it's there now. I like the design of it still, and I mean...
the point is, you can't really regret stuff like that. You can't, like, go back into your past and be like, okay, I don't really like that, because it's now such a big part of you. I mean, you can obviously fix it with a cover-up or something, but there's no... sometimes there's just no point, and it's cost prohibitive to fix something like that.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but it just kind of happens. And if people ask you about it, you can either be anxious about it or just kind of ignore them.
And I get super anxious about a lot of my tattoos because, like, a lot of them I got because, like, my favorite YouTuber has them. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I like the design of their tattoo also, that I'm not just going to get it just because they're my favorite YouTuber and they have this tattoo. Like, Justin Bieber, I'd get one of his tattoos if he had a tattoo that I liked the design of.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that he has them. I like them on him or whatever, but I don't like any of them enough to get them on me. Like, the ones that I've got from my favorite YouTubers, I like them. I like how they look. I'm pretty sure that I would like them on me. They all also have double meaning to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, besides the XI smiley face on my back, all of them have other meanings. Like, the cloud that JC Caitlin has means to dream. And, that's a big thing, I need to allow myself to dream. And, I mean, I don't know what the pineapple means, but...
The pineapple, it's SpongeBob.
I mean, a YouTuber that I like called It's Rico, though, has it.
Oh, okay.
His name's actually Adam Yorba, but his YouTube name is It's Rico, though. And he has it. He has, like, a big one on his neck. And he talks about it a lot. He's like, I know what I was thinking when I got it. He goes, but I don't even like pineapples. Like me, I don't really eat pineapple. I mean, I like pineapple. It's good. But, I don't eat pineapple. I drink, like, pineapple Arizona tea every once in a while, or Arizona juice. And, I mean, I think they're cool looking. Like, I don't think they're, like, pretty or anything. But, I mean, like, I have pineapple decorations in the room. I have pineapple t-shirts. I have a pineapple hat. I mean,
yeah.
It's just something that I got into, and I don't know how or why. But it's there. It's in my life now, and I can't do anything to kick it out. Just like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter is in my life now, and there's nothing I can do to get him out.
There really isn't.
Like Lord of the Rings and all that.
Once you are a part of a fandom, you're in there for life.
Exactly. Pineapple's a fun fruit.
Yeah, it's just so versatile. It does go on pizza, by the way, just to throw that out there.
No, that's a
That's
hard pass.
Well, Mike, I don't think so.
Nothing goes on pizza except meat and cheese. No fruits, no veggies, nothing on my pizza except meat and cheese.
I will eat all sorts of vegetables on my pizza. I will eat pineapple. I will eat just about anything except anchovies on my pizza.
You've never ate fruit or vegetables on your pizza since I got here?
Actually, first week that you came in.
Oh yeah, you bought that supreme pizza.
And I was like, yeah, make sure that it has pineapple bits.
I don't remember that.
Oh, well, I do. It was like the week of.
Oh.
The week that
you could have got it like the day before I moved in, because I left after spending the night, and then I spent a day down there, and then I came back.
Yeah.
So you could have got it that day.
It is divorce worthy. It's not almost divorce worthy. Anchovies are little fish. They're slimy. They're nasty.
I hate
and
all
scary.
kinds of fish. I will not put fish in my mouth. Except tuna from a can. That's it.
I love tuna sandwiches from Subway. They're my favorite go-to.
See, and I can't eat that either. I can make a tuna sandwich perfectly fine, eat it, all that good shit. I mean, I don't like bread, but
yeah,
that's a whole different choice. It's not really a choice. I just don't like it anymore. I don't see the point in eating bread. I used to roll bread up in balls. Like I'd rip off the crust, crumple it up in a ball, and then eat it. Yes.
Oh, man. I watched Pyrocynical doing a video the other day, and he was eating raw. I mean, he wasn't eating raw shrimp. He was eating cooked shrimp heads. And, like, he was putting them into his mouth, and I was like, that is disgusting. Do not. It has eyes, bro. If it has eyes, don't put it in your mouth.
See, I think that's part of, like, I want to say what's wrong with me, but that's not the actual, like, terminology for it. That's probably why I have some trouble sleeping, because I love scary movies. Love them. Will never stop watching them. But 95% of the scary movies that I watch have spiders or some sort of bugs in them, and I will have nightmares about it.
Oh, my gosh.
And
True.
I can't, it's just, ugh. And, I mean, they're not actually scary or anything. It's just the thought of all those little legs crawling all over you. It's gross. I can't. And so I seen that bug on the Magic game yesterday, and I was like, this is kind of horrific.
I'm going to play an insect deck next. That'll bring nightmares.
Make one just to fuck with me.
I have a legendary insect commander that I've been toying with the idea of building a deck around it.
You have these gnats. I don't know where they came from.
If it has eyes, don't eat it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but no, at the same time. Because, I mean, like, pigs have eyes before they're cut into bacon.
Yeah, but you can't see the eyes when you're eating it. I think that's what we're talking about.
But most fish don't have eyes when you eat it either.
But then there's some that do.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh.
But see, what I'm saying is any kind of fish, any fish sticks, any of that, unless it's tuna in a can that I can put mayonnaise and pickles in, not gonna eat it. I think it's the texture. Might also be the taste. I don't know. It's just ugh.
It's just too much.
My mouth and my stomach don't like it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's probably the texture, the smell, and the taste. It's just everything about it. The fact that it swims in the ocean. No.
Those damn ocean swimmers.
What I don't get is some people eat it if they remove the eyes.
But the problem is if they remove the eyes and kind of leave the head and, like, there's nothing staring back at you, it just seems a little worse.
Seems a little worse because it's a little demonic, man.
If they remove the eyes from the shrimp head, but I can still see the holes where the eyes are supposed to go, I still don't want to eat the shrimp head. It just... Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want it. No thanks.
Nothing with a head. Nothing. If it has a head on it, don't eat it. Or skin. Even potatoes. Can't eat potatoes with skin on it.
If it has the word brains in it on the menu, it's going to give me instant anxiety.
What are you eating with the word brains on it?
Like, you can eat pig brains. It's a delicacy in some places.
The only pig part I will eat is bacon and sausage.
I love bacon and sausage.
I used to eat like pork chops and stuff, but I can't do it now. Pigs are one of my favorite animals. The only thing I'm eating is bacon and sausage. If you could not kill a pig and feed me bacon and sausage from it, I would do that. I would only buy bacon and sausage from those companies.
They have faux bacon.
I mean, I eat turkey bacon a lot.
Turkey bacon is
I love
good.
turkey bacon. Probably like turkey bacon more than I like regular bacon. But I mean, like I got bacon on my pizza whenever we ordered from Domino's, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't turkey bacon.
No, probably not.
And I mean, and it's not because it's turkey bacon that I eat it. It's because I prefer the taste of it. The taste and the texture of turkey bacon is a lot better to me than actual bacon.
Yeah.
And I feel like actual bacon is really hard to cook right. Because it's got all that, like, extra fat on it, and I don't like chewy bacon.
Yeah, yeah.
My bacon's got to be crisp and crunchy.
You're not from an animal bacon. Yeah, there's a lot of that bacon going around, and it's like...
It's probably, like, actual bacon, the fake bacon bits that you buy. Like,
you ever
Walmart.
see slime on TV? Like a gray goo? That's probably it. It's flavorless. There's no taste to it.
Like the pink goo that they said is used to make chicken nuggets.
Yeah, exactly. Like uncooked.
I mean, I don't care if there's pink goo in chicken nuggets from McDonald's. They taste good, and I'm going to continue to eat them. I don't give a fuck. If they make me die sooner, good for them. If they kill me faster, good for them.
Wow, this pink goo, that really has brought me death.
I mean, it's delicious. I've been eating them since I could eat solid foods.
Yeah.
I mean, chicken nuggets are the bomb. All kinds of chicken is the bomb, unless it has bones. Then I don't like it. Except chicken breast, like chicken breast from the box chicken. It's called like banquet or whatever. It gives you like 2 breasts and 2 thighs and like 4 legs or whatever. The chicken breast from there, eat that shit all day long too.
I love Sherway chicken.
But other than that, I'm not gonna eat it if it has a bone in it. Like chicken wings with bones.
No, I always
unless they're from the Dodge store.
Unless they're from the
Dodge store's
is really good. Hot
wings or spicy wings or whatever they're called. Delicious. They probably don't know what the
we get food from gas stations around here. Like, that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that is so true. Like, getting back, I guess, to the topic at hand.
What is the topic at hand anymore?
Anxiety.
Are you sure?
We're
talking about food now.
You're never going to overcome that comfort barrier unless you take the risk.
That's probably why I only eat chicken with no bones.
Because
I don't want to try anything else and it'd be gross. And a big part of that is we would go to a buffet, like Golden Corral or any kind of buffet, and my parents wouldn't want me to waste any.
Yeah.
If you get it on your plate, you should eat it, is what they used to tell me. So I don't want to get something that turn out to be nasty because then I'm not going to eat it if it's nasty.
That's true.
And I don't want to.
Yeah. When I first started this video, I was like, oh, geez, I'm going to be sad this entire time. But then, like, Charmaine came in here and just brightened it up.
That's my coping mechanism, is a bunch of jokes.
I prefer it when it's light. You know, I was coming in here and I was feeling kind of anxious about the video because I was like, well, it's about anxiety and I'm going to have to rehash topics and then
It's like the topic of me smoking cigarettes. My parents are like, that's going to kill you, that's going to kill you. I'm like, good. But I mean, the actual reason why I smoke them is because it relieves a lot of stress. And I used to relieve stress by cutting. And I mean, neither are safe, but it's the lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah, cutting
This is going to kill me a lot slower than a knife against my skin.
That's true.
So, and that's what I told my parents. I was like, well, I mean, I could probably stop, but...
Yes, exactly. The urge to feel something.
Yeah. I was like, I could quit smoking if I wanted to, but I know that if I do, I'm going to go straight back to cutting. So here's your options. Either I'm going to smoke or I'm going to go back to cutting. And I mean, And I don't want to put that on you because it's not your choice, it's my choice, but I wasn't 18 at the time, and they didn't want me to smoke because it was against the law and it can kill you. Like, my mom has never smoked a cigarette before in her life. Never put a cigarette in her mouth. And I mean, and that's why she doesn't get it. All 4 of her children smoke cigarettes. She doesn't understand it. She's never smoked a cigarette in her life.
It's not
I think
genetic.
I think my dad said that he tried cigarettes once or twice. But
yeah,
I see where they're coming from, but
that's not her. That's them and their experience.
And the group of friends that I grew up with was mostly my brother and my sister's friends. And I'm the baby of the family, so they were always older. So when they started smoking cigarettes, I was still hanging out with them, and it became the thing to do. At first, it was just I smoked to be cool, and I understand that. I own that. I own that 100%. I started to be cool, but then it started doing something. Like, whenever I was doing it to be cool, I wasn't even inhaling it or anything. I was just, puffing away, wasting cigarettes, basically. And I mean, it was fun, but then my sister's friends were like, you're not inhaling. We need to teach you how to inhale because you're smoking our cigarettes, so you're wasting our cigarettes, so we need to teach you how to do this. And they taught me, and it started doing something. And I was like, hold on, I feel a lot better. Let's try this for a while. And then it started working to relieve stress or whatever else I was going through, and it became a thing. And I mean, the only thing that sucks.
I'm a social smoker, so I can't relate heavily, but I do.
And I mean, I'm a social smoker too. Like, my brother, he smokes a whole lot more than me, and well, not anymore, but he used to. And he would come over, and he'd be like, he would chain smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes while because we used to have to go outside because I still live with my parents, so we would have to go outside to smoke. And he'd smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes while we were standing out there, and I would try to keep up with him. And I mean, like. Yep.
It's our longest relationship.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah. It's 100. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, you're my longest relationship. Besides cigarettes and like my parents, which I don't really consider my parents a friendship, a relationship. It's more like a forced friendship.
Yeah. I don't want my parents to be there. It's like just there.
I want my parents to be there. I love my parents. I mean, my dad's.
I'm adopted, so I mean, yeah. I have my biological parents, but my biological mother, but my mom and dad who raised me are already dead. So I just have the which contributed to a lot of anxiety. I remember immediately after my mom's death, I would stick my head in the freezer in order to feel the cold air against me, because like it felt like I was always overheating and there was no relief from it. And I didn't want to cut myself to do it because I hate blood too, because I'm hemophobic and I'd probably pass out.
See, my thing is I would go on these websites, or I would just go on Facebook and go on these pages, and it would be like other emo or other people who cut typing about it, and they would say how like they envision the blood to be like the stress leaving their body or all the hurt leaving their body. But my thing was I could control it. It was the one thing in my life that I could control, is how much I hurt and how many times I bled or whatever. Which obviously can't control how much you bleed, but in my mind I could.
Yeah.
In my mind, once I put like a shirt or something against it, it stopped bleeding. Which, I mean, most of the time it did, because I never cut super deep. Except for, I mean, I did it a couple times, but I never did enough to where I died, obviously.
Obviously.
And the thing is, the only therapist that I've had, or the first therapist I had, she shouldn't be a therapist. I hope she's still not a therapist. Because what she told my parents is tough love. 100% tough love. Take away all of her romance novels, which was every single book in my room, including Twilight and everything else in my room, because that's the kind of books that I like to read, as romance novels, because I'm a hopeless romantic, and it sucks, but it's there. And that was part of my problem. Is I was a hopeless romantic. The boy that I liked at school didn't like me back, and I knew that he never would because he was popular and I was not. I was not even there.
And much. Now you're with me, the most unpopular person ever.
And I mean, it was fine to a point. It wasn't the fact that he didn't like me back. It was the fact that his friends made fun of me for liking him.
Yeah.
And they always, did the whole, oh, he's never going to like you back. Why do you like him? Oh, you're just setting yourself up for failure. All that antagonizing, degrading stuff that they said to me. That's why it hurt more than just him not liking me.
If you like something and somebody makes fun of you for it, that's probably one of the worst feelings in the world.
Yeah.
On the inside, you don't want somebody degrading you for something that you like.
Yeah, like my mom, I would never say that my mom intentionally bullied me or anything like that. But she's always made fun of my music taste.
Unless you like Hungarian grammar, in which case, yeah, I'm probably gonna make fun of you for it.
And she's always made fun of my music taste. But I mean, I get it because she listens to rock, hard rock, like Godsmack and Disturbed and
yeah,
and
100% agree.
The tough love thing that came into effect is my parents found out that I was cutting again after they had already got me a therapist. And my dad came into the room and he was like, well, if you want to cut, I'll give you the knife. And
that's super shitty.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
But he didn't realize how shitty it was because the therapist told him to do that because I also have a big authority problem. Whereas if you tell me to do something, I'm probably not going to do it.
Wow.
So he figured by telling me to cut, I wouldn't do it. But what hit him hard is whenever I said, all right, then hand it here. I was like, all right, then here. Come on, give it to me. And that's what hit him hard. He was like, you could see the realization hit him. He was like, this bitch is retarded. She told me to do this, and it's obviously not working. And, I mean, and that's how it is most of the time. Somebody tells me to do something, I'm going to do the exact opposite. Or somebody tells me not to do something, I'm probably going to do it. And, I mean, it works, but it doesn't work with my parents because I have no problem listening to my parents because they're supposed to tell me what to do. It's the teachers and cops and, I follow the law sometimes. I drink. I'm not 21.
Not heavily, though. It's not like you drink frequently enough to get drunk.
I used to.
Yeah, used to, yeah, but nowadays
I don't anymore because I'm not really, we're not partying or anything when we're drinking. We're just drinking.
I just drink because I feel sad and I want to drink.
And the reason why I drink is because I like the taste. It tastes good and it's the warmness that it gives you from the alcohol.
Sometimes that's the that you'll ever experience in life.
And I get that, and that's why I like cuddling or whatever because there's the warmth. But it's like people like you and my dad.
Yeah.
My mom told me that my dad's like this. You guys don't just give off body heat. You give off you send all your body heat on us. And then we wake up sweating and it's terrible.
Me, honestly.
And don't get me wrong. I wake up sweating. It's fine.
Hello, viewer number 3 for joining in, by the way.
If I wake up cold, I'm going to be pissed off. Because there's no reason why I should be cold in my own home.
With methane cuddles. I fart way too much. And
that too. And I don't like to wake up in a sneaky room. It don't work. That's why he sleeps in the living room on his recliner, and I sleep in the bedroom on the bed. Also, we sleep at different times. I sleep in the early morning, I'll go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll wake up at
True.
noon-ish. And he sleeps whenever he's off work.
Yeah, whenever my schedule dictates I'm allowed to sleep is when I can sleep.
And most of the time when he's sleeping, I'm up watching TV or whatever.
And I feel really disturbed by that, so instead of trying to force her to change that, I'm just going to go to my comfortable chair in the living room and sleep there.
Whereas if he was watching TV while I was sleeping, it's fine, I can do that. I can't fall asleep in a very quiet room. Like, here it's fine because most of the time the heat's on and there's always that white noise in the background. But I prefer to fall asleep to either music or TV.
Yeah.
Which obviously I don't do that here because it runs down my data because we have to use our hotspot. But the wholesome content, yeah.
Heck yeah. Finally, the second like. I love it.
And I mean, it's great, but it's not.
It is what it is, you know. We just kind of have to deal with.
And it's probably because I grew up in such a big. I mean, it wasn't a huge family or anything, but I had 3 brothers and sister, and my parents, and then my sister's best friend Bailey came into the picture, and she became like a sister to us. And then there was Matthew, and you know he's a kid, so he was always loud, and I just had to adapt sleeping in a noisy environment because I used to go to bed early because I used to like school. So I would go to bed early so that I made sure I was rested for school. And I just learned how to sleep in a noisy environment. Now I can't sleep in a super quiet environment. Because
you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Pretty much, yeah.
That sucks. I had an ex who Autumn. She insisted one time that for like an entire week, she was like, "Okay, so we don't sleep in the same bed anymore." But the problem was she was always sleeping at a different time, and I was always working at a different time about the time that she was sleeping, and she was getting mad at me for it. And I was like, "There's no sense in being mad.
There's no situation that works."
I'm gonna sleep when I can sleep, so I can be well rested for work. Because otherwise, I'm gonna be miserable, and I'm probably just gonna be depressed.
Yeah. And the thing that happened that was kind of bad for me, I guess, is since I was so used to sleeping while other people were talking, if I didn't sleep well that night, like whenever I got into high school and like late middle school, you know, that's whenever you start to stay up all hours of the night just because you're on the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that, and I ended up falling asleep in class. And you know, when you snore, you don't want to fall asleep in public because it's embarrassing.
You do snore. Throwing it out there, she does snore.
I fell asleep in class and I was snoring, and my friend was like trying to wake me up all discreetly because, you know. But I mean,
there is no discreet whenever the person is.
And I mean, it was fine except for the fact that I was leaning back against the wall. Mm-hmm. You know, 2 legs on the table. I was like leaning back like this against the wall because the wall was like right behind my chair. Like the chair was resting on the wall, and I was resting my head on the wall. And she kicked my leg to wake me up. And she ended up kicking the leg of the chair, so it kicked the chair forward, and I fell back. And I woke up, and the fact that I woke up falling, I started crying. And I stood up, and I was crying in the middle of my math class. And I was like, oh, my God. I just walked out of the classroom. And the teacher, you know, was back there. Get back in here. Where are you going? I was like, shut up. I'm leaving.
I'm gone.
That was after I already moved the first time and I was done because my dad had made me promise we won't move until you graduate high school. I was like, great. Awesome. Love that. Because I had to move elementary schools and it was hard.
Yeah.
And he knew how hard it was for me. And then we moved in the middle of my middle school year. We didn't move far enough to where I had to change middle schools. But there's only 2 middle schools in the whole state. Or not the whole state, but in the whole town. So I wouldn't move middle schools and wouldn't move all the way across town to the north side of town. So we're still on the south side. We only moved about a block away, but it was still hard because, you know, you have to tell all your friends your new address. You have to, you know, get used to living in that the new neighborhood and all that fun shit. I mean, it wasn't as hard as moving schools, but it was still difficult.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me. I don't like change.
Me either. I really don't.
I hate change. I hate any kind of change. Like, when my parents moved, I figured it's still going to be the same. You know, I can still hang out with them and everything. And then it hits you that you can't because they live all the way in North Carolina and I still live in Kentucky.
Yeah, it really does.
It does. And it's like, and it's hard when that routine is broken. Just like, that's what's so hard with me. I don't have a routine. I have no sleep routine or anything. The only routine that I have is when I wake up, I watch TV and then I sleep. And then I wake up and I watch TV and then I sleep. I don't do anything. And that's another thing that's hard is that I don't do anything because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, my parents are like, get a job, do this, get a job. And I'm like, I tried. There's no jobs that want to hire me because all these holes that I have in my employment history from either getting fired or just leaving. Like the McDonald's in Illinois, I just left one day. I was just like, I'm leaving. I'm going back to Kentucky. I can't work here anymore because I'm leaving. And, you know, that's not a good way to leave a job, really.
Yeah, that really fucks with the employment history, honestly. It sucks. I remember working at DQ for a single day, and then I just kind of ghosted them after that. Yeah, for sure. I am so angry at myself recently, but I was so good on the Duolingo. I did like 40 days straight of Duolingo, and then I broke the habit once, and I haven't been on Duolingo since. It takes about 21 days to form a habit, according to research. And if you have done something in a row for 21 days, you've got the habit down. It's a part of your routine. And then if you stop, the routine is broken.
Yeah, you don't want to get back into it because
you've already done all this work, and then nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I try to post every single day something, because otherwise I'm going to lose the routine, like I did in the middle of December. And December was a different issue. Yeah, I can't stand myself for not studying languages now, because I've broken the routine, and now I try to incorporate language learning into the videos more often.
Yeah, and I mean, I would like to learn a new language like French or even sign language or even Spanish, but it's the fact that there's no app that teaches it the way I learn. You know, there's like kinetic learning, there's all kinds of different kinds of learning, and there's none that do it how I learn.
Good news for you, folks. Here for $5 a month, you can buy our new app that teaches exactly the way Charmaine learns. See, this was a special once-in-a-time offer, and I'm glad that you brought it up. But we finally have the app that will teach her how to learn the way that she learns it. And boom, $5 a month, Charmaine. All you have to do is dip into your pocket now and hand me $5, and you get the free app.
I use that $5 to keep my Sam McColby subscription.
Once in a lifetime offer, folks. Once in a lifetime offer.
And I mean, and that's the thing. I learned by doing it.
Yeah.
And there's no app that really like grades you on that. Like you have that app that like teaches you how to say it and stuff, but they don't. The app doesn't listen to how you're pronouncing it and tell you if you got it right or anything.
Duolingo sucks so much about their, because you can speak, you can repeat things back to it in the app, but like they don't recognize half the shit that you're saying.
Yeah.
Or they just completely screw up whatever audio is there.
It's like Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero, they have the words for you to sing, but you don't have to sing those words. You can just like move your voice. You could just go the whole time through the song, and it'll give you a perfect score as long as you keep it where the notes are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with most like language apps and stuff. They'll be like, well, if you have it in the right like tone of voice and your syllables kind of sound like how the syllables sound, good job.
Memrise and Duolingo are so bad about that.
And that's the thing, like, I don't need something like that. I need somebody that tells me you got it either wrong or you got it completely right.
And here's how to fix it if it is wrong.
Yeah.
Or even slightly wrong. Here's how to fix it.
Yeah,
so
like whenever
better.
we were doing the words in that book. You were like, that's not how it's pronounced. It's pronounced like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked you about that one word and you were like, oh, this is how it, you know, if there's a question, then you just put this word at the end of the sentence and then it makes the whole sentence a question.
Maybe I should teach you a language over the live streams.
Probably not.
Let's learn French.
Baguette. Awesome. Know all I need to know.
Walk up
Baguette,
to a French
croissant.
speaker. Croissant.
I told my sister that I was going to move to France.
Oui.
And she said, you can't move to France because you don't know French. I was like, well, I know how to say baguette. And she goes, she's going to walk up to a random street and be like, baguette, and then walk away like a boss. I was like, yep. I I mean, all you need to know how to say the food words.
Exactly.
Like cheese is a word in French.
It's no, cheese isn't.
But they would recognize it.
No.
They know what cheese means.
It's fromage.
Fromage, then.
It's fromage.
There we go. I need a baguette, croissant, and fromage.
And cafe.
And wine.
Yeah.
Vino. And I need vino. That's it.
If you can say, that's why I write a script down every time I'm trying to learn a new language of like the most common things that like I would want to say to somebody, and that way I have those common things for conversation practice. I think that's probably one of the better ways to learn a language, and the most effective for me, really. Yeah. That's what Benny Lewis does. Benny Lewis.
We have a phrase book here for French.
Yeah. I have a phrase book for French. I got a dictionary in German, a dictionary for Spanish, a dictionary for Russian. I have so many different books that I never end up using. And I like
that book that you have because it'll have like the word will be like play or bow or something. Mm-hmm. And it'll have like the word, like how you pronounce it in English. Like it'll have B-O-W under it. And then it'll also have a picture of a bow.
Yeah.
Like a hair bow.
Yeah.
And I mean, it helps you realize that's how I say it. And I mean, if I could get a book like that taught me French, like actual French, like not just random phrases in French, then it'd be great. But
limited time offer today. We have the.
You have nothing, Michael. You have this. You have this YouTube channel.
I have a YouTube channel, and we have the magazine.
Instagram page.
And we have the magazine too, which offers $1 language lessons. It's on the Patreon. If you unlock it for $1, you get all of these language lessons for that. And then we have the magazine at $2, and then we have $5. There's this thing called the Language Lovers Loot, which has a bunch of different like random things about languages in there for the more serious person. And if I can make enough documentaries, we might add a $10 tier. And
I'm gonna draw a random picture every month, and we're gonna hide it in the magazine. And if you find it, you win $2.
It won't be hard though, because there's only like words in the magazine normally. So like the one
it'll
picture,
be like a really small picture, and we'll like put it as a period or something, or we'll like make it the O. I'll draw like a donut.
Everybody knows it. My Portuguese is doing okay. I do the Polyglot Learns Portuguese video about once a week. I stopped doing it for a few weeks, but I'm going to start doing it every Monday now. I'm trying to get into a schedule with every video series that I'm doing. For every Saturday now, I do a react video to a different Portuguese song or a video. And that way I start getting some of the audio-visual things in. I can't say a lot in Portuguese, unfortunately, because that full 3 weeks in which I stopped studying, it kind of just drained away. Yeah, look forward. Every Saturday we have the Polyglot Reacts videos, and then Polyglot Learns Portuguese every Monday. So look forward to a new video coming out tomorrow for that.
Did you know?
A lot of my content's going to be focused around, going to be centered around learning Portuguese,
I guess. In England, cigarettes are called fags.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, it's just how it is.
I find that really funny.
Okay.
Because when somebody calls somebody else a fag, they're calling them a cigarette. That's what I say. If somebody calls you a fag, they're just calling you a cigarette.
That's so true. Congratulations. I'm glad that you found this out.
You know where I found it out at?
Hopefully the internet.
YouTube.
The internet.
And JC have a British friend.
Teaching.
It's not Nick Crompton, though.
Oh, thank God. England is my city. I'm like, what? Do you live in England? Probably not.
He did.
Lunch? lunch? I don't. What does that mean? Lunch?
I don't know. Maybe there's like Lund.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. I was like, lunch? I don't get this reference. I don't speak any
What does
Indian
the bad word
languages.
mean?
Yeah, what is it? What does the bad word mean? Rock out with your sock out?
Cock out, Michael.
Oh, I was like, I couldn't think of anything that rhymed with rock at the time. That's my bad. Whoops. And every Sunday we'll be doing a stream as well. Around this time in the afternoon, maybe a little bit later, so I can catch everybody throughout the time zones. So I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to watch.
I might be here every time.
I prefer if Charmaine is here because then it's more like a conversation rather than me just staring at a screen.
That's why I can't upload regular videos, like regular YouTube videos that like most YouTubers have, or like just like talking to you or whatever, because I can't talk to a camera like I talk to a person.
Yeah, that's true. It's not as great a it's not as conversational.
I started to go live on Instagram one day, and I did it for like 10 seconds, and I was like, this is weird because nobody's watching it yet, so there's nobody to talk to me, so this is kind of weird. And that's why I'm never live on anything, because I do it for 10 seconds to where nobody can get in there, and I'm done because it's awkward. And I mean, if I could play music, which I mean, you can on Instagram Live, they don't really care.
Yeah.
But because that video doesn't stay or anything.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, like that, it's cool, I guess, but
I had a monologue for about 10 minutes before somebody started viewing this live stream. And it's really awkward, like to look at a camera and try not to hesitate in speaking, try to be as clear as possible, because somebody's going to watch this video afterwards, after the live stream anyway.
Since we've plugged my YouTube channel, my Instagram also has great content. I make fun edits on there.
Yeah, she makes edited videos. She doesn't help me edit my videos. Though.
I make edited slideshows.
She makes edited slideshows, basically.
Of pictures.
And
sometimes I have polls on my Instagram story asking you who you would like me to edit, and you can say people like Shakespeare if you wanted to. I'll find pictures and I'll make it an edit because I'm bored all the time. The only time I'm not going to do an edit is if I'm like really into the show I'm watching on Netflix, or if I'm really into whatever I'm doing.
Like a YouTube channel or something. You're into the rabbit hole, Shane Dawson or something.
Or if I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll always get done. Like, this one girl suggested that I do Devin Lundy, which is a YouTuber's girlfriend. She's also a YouTuber, but I don't watch her. So to me, she's still just that YouTuber's girlfriend.
Yeah.
But I mean,
there's that disconnect between what she does.
She has a makeup channel.
Oh,
and I don't watch makeup channels
because
I don't do makeup. The only makeup I ever do is eyeliner and mascara. Every once in a while, I'll throw some black eyeshadow on there, and that's it, because that's my aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't really do anything in that portion of YouTube. I don't do DIY videos. I don't do makeup videos.
And I'll wear, like, lip gloss every once in a while, but mostly it's just chapstick.
Yeah, I prefer watching vlogs, PewDiePie videos.
See, I like watching, like,
skits sometimes.
Like, most of the time, I don't care what the video's about if I like the person's personality or whatever.
Like my personality.
Like,
and the person who just liked this video. Thank you.
Hi, Victor.
Victor Gabriel. Why does a sink sink? Tell us, Victor.
That's a good question.
Oh, wait, are you asking us? Is this a legitimate question?
Maybe it might be.
I don't know,
but some sinks don't. Some sinks are on top of the counter.
You know, that is a really good scientific point, though.
It's because if it doesn't sink, there's no basin to hold the water in, and it would go everywhere.
Yeah,
and then it would be a shower that doesn't have a tub at the bottom.
And then you can't, like, just, stream and
I mean, you could. I used to wash my hair in the sink. Like, one time, whenever I had surgery on my ear, I had a wrap around my head, and I couldn't get it wet. So my mom would lay me up on the counter, and she would wash my hair in the sink.
That's a good point. Yeah, that makes sense.
I washed my hair in the sink once here. Because what had happened is
What?
I was playing with my silly putty. And and I got it in my hair, but I didn't want to take a whole shower again. So I just came in here and washed it out of my hair. But I don't like washing just like portions of my hair. So I washed all my hair in the sink. And it's no fun to wash your hair in a sink unless you have one of these things.
Oh yeah, we won't show them, but the spray doohickey.
Why is it sticky?
The better question is why does it like that anyway?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
It's ergonomically shaped.
It's ergonomically shaped, everybody. It's ergonomically shaped, and that's why the sink it is. The sink gives
That's why this has this little bump right here, because it's ergonomically shaped to help you lift it up or whatever.
Oh, that makes sense. Sort of.
Also, though, we should just get one of those ones where you have to tap it and it turns on. Oh, look, there's another person watching.
Well, yeah, he's been here. Gabriel. Or
yeah, but what about the other
Gabriel,
person? Because we've only talked to 3 people. That's Victor, Tessa, and that JP.
There's been a third person. I think one of them left. Somebody else came into the stream. I don't know who that third person is. They've kind of just been chilling here for a while.
That's what I'm saying about.
And then Victor just showed up. So
hello, is the
everyone.
Mystery person?
Who is the mystery person? Reveal thyself. They're probably like, oh, you ignored my comment earlier?
I will look. We will find out.
It's me. I try to increase my own videos.
Most of these comments are from Tessa. She's great.
She's great. I love Tess. I'm bored with looking at the chat.
There's nobody else.
There's nobody.
There's no other comments.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Darion, Tessa, Darion.
I used to know somebody named Darian.
Well, I wasn't saying Darian. I was saying the French word for you're welcome. There's no need to stare at the chat talk. Just chat normally.
Yeah.
Charmaine and Michael, just chat normally. That makes sense.
But it feels like a stalker because somebody's watching you and you don't know who it is.
You know, if this when this channel gets a lot bigger, no biggie, exactly. When this channel gets a lot bigger, I'm sure there's going to be like...
I'm going to name my son Darian, and it's going to be spelled like that. Derien.
No.
So that people will be saying no problem when they talk to him.
Yo, Darian, no problem.
I'm going to name my kids...
Actually, we should name our kid that.
I was going to name, like, if I had twins, I was going to name them Aaron and Aaron. Look, there's somebody else.
Hey, welcome
Hello,
to the
person.
live stream. This is Michael speaking, and then his girlfriend,
If I had
Charmaine.
twins that were like a boy and a girl.
Oh, they left.
I was going to name them something like Aaron and Aaron or like Taylor and Taylor or whatever. And, I mean, it's fun and all, but then you'd be like yelling at them like, hey, Aaron, come here, and they'd both come.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like my mom, she used to be like, hey, Brendan, come here, but she'd actually be talking to me. But she's not good with names. She'd be yelling at one of us, and she'd be like, Brendan, Josh, Cass, and Charmaine, you know who you are, you're in trouble, and you're grounded. But if it was me, I'd be ungrounded and like, depending on if I had friends to hang out with that day.
Yeah. Screw it. I'm in my room anyway.
Because all you have to do is be like, hey, Mom, can I leave? Hey, Mom, can I leave? She'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I don't even care. Just go away. Just don't talk to me anymore.
If they really wanted to punish me as a teenager, they would make me go outside.
See, that wasn't the thing. I loved being outside. And it wasn't because it was outside. It was because that's where my friends were. Because I didn't want my friends to know my parents. Because my dad was weird. My dad was an ass, is what I said. But he wasn't an ass. He was just a dad. So I didn't want them to know who my dad was because I didn't want them to, like, hate me because my dad's an ass. So I would just never bring them over. We would always hang out, like, at McDonald's. Yeah. Because that's where everybody hung out at.
A hard ass, yeah,
pretty
100%. 100%.
Pretty much exactly.
That makes sense. You know, I've been thinking about doing like a live stream radio on here. You know how some...
Yeah,
I don't know. I've been thinking about it.
like Sam and Colby have a podcast, which isn't exactly live, but
yeah,
and they're working on getting a like video podcast, but right now they haven't got that worked out.
yeah.
So it's just like a picture of like they have a picture of their house and then like them, like their like a picture of them over here, and then like it says Sam and Colby podcast in the other corner.
I've noticed that podcasts on YouTube get less views if there's no video like to watch while the podcast is going.
Yeah, because it's awkward. Like I was listening to their podcast and it was weird because I was hearing them but I wasn't seeing them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a disconnect in some people. They like seeing it when they hear it. Like me, I can't talk to somebody unless I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I don't feel like they're listening unless they're looking at me. So like I'd be trying to talk to my mom, and like my dad would be sitting in the middle of us on the couch or something. So I would lean forward, and it was weird. And then my mom would be like trying to look at the TV while she's listening to me, but I'd like mom, and I'd say mom until she looked at me.
Yeah.
I feel like unless you're looking at the person, engaging with them, they don't really listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, that's probably not just me, but that's me.
It's difficult to engage with something that you're not like.
You're
There's
not
just
seeing.
so much going on, and if you're off looking at something else, you're not engaging with what the person.
That's
is
why
saying.
most of the time, whenever I'm like reading a book on my phone or whatever, yes, there's a lot of communication and body
especially with
language
Italians. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, especially with me because I use my hands a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of like what I don't like about like videos, kind of, because I tend to have my hands down in my lap a lot, but I'm still talking with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like my head is moving and stuff, and people think I'm just weird. But the reason why it's moving is because my hands are moving a lot. So.
Oh wow, we're on 9%, but my laptop's been charging this whole time.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And I mean.
Can I turn down the brightness maybe?
I guess. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm going to turn down the brightness a little bit so then we can save battery power.
And I mean. And that's part of the problem, too, with people talking to me. So I talk with my hands a lot, and most of the time when people talk with their hands.
End it like the Sopranos. That's right, baby. That's right. We're going to end it right there.
Funny
Swim with
story.
the fishes, boy.
I was a soprano in middle school, in choir, not a mobster.
I was the
But-
good kind of soprano.
And now I'm more of a soprano alto. Because my talking voice is lower, so I'm considered an alto, but I can sing pretty high still. Now we're on 7%. We're losing battery power.
Dang it, we're losing battery
It's
power.
dying! Start CPR.
I think this is about a good place to cut off the live stream.
You have to end it at exactly 2 hours now.
Yeah, but will we have the battery power to end it exactly too?
I don't know. Maybe we should all just sit here and stare at the time counting. It'll end it and still upload it. Well, it'll upload it whenever you turn your phone back on.
Yeah, but it's more awkward to Jerry's final thoughts. I just want to say this has been a wonderful live stream.
My final thoughts.
Okay, let's go with her first, I guess.
That chicken nuggets are delicious. And to go watch my YouTube videos and comment on them that Michael sent you. Or that I sent you from Michael's channel. And let me know what you think about them. Because I need feedback. Because the only feedback that I have right now is one person commented on one of my videos and said cringe. That's the only feedback that I have. Except on one of the videos, somebody said that I had a beautiful voice. And that was nice. And it encouraged me to post the video that somebody commented cringe on. So.
It was me. I created an account. All right, so we're at 5% battery power. We're going to end this. Yes, I will link it.
Also, we're going to put my Instagram handle down there too.
And Instagram handle. We will go ahead and plug her twice. All right, so anxiety sucks. There's not a lot to deal with it. We didn't really get into dealing with it so much. I just want to say thank you guys for watching this. You guys are awesome. And see you next Sunday or Tuesday, depending on what my work schedule is like.
I won't see you until the next live stream. If I decide to be on the live stream.
Have a good night.